back. I am Nutritionist Rob, and welcome back to Lose 20 Pounds in 30 Days Weight Loss channel. So we're going to continue from last week where we talked about the food industry thinks they're God. Literally. So as we continue, we're always going to look into the minds of the food industry. How they think about us. It's not how you think. It's how they think about us. And that's very hard for us to really grasp. Is that these people are different thinking people. And they want total control of your life. So again, I want everybody to understand this is not how you think. Most people are nice people. These people are not nice people. They do not like us. All they want us to do is buy their foods. We're just objects to them. So that's how they think. Now, we were talking about they think they're God, literally. And they want us to believe their creations are actually food. And obviously we're talking about creations. That's the key word, creations. 80 to 90% of the foods are so-called foods that we believe they are foods. They're just chemicals. It's not food. And we talked about these flavorists or flavor chemists that are making these foods. We talked about that last time in the last one. They literally make foods. And it is against the laws of nature of what they're doing. They're pulling out chemicals and they are giving it to us in these creations, and they're playing with our smell. So we talked about that before. So basically they feel as though the food from God's table, fruits, vegetables, organic fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, beans, grains, their foods are actually just as healthy as the foods off God's table. They actually believe this. They want their foods in your pantry and in your refrigerator, along with the foods from God's table. That's what they want. So what they're trying to do, and they do it very well, they want complete control of your perception of what a food is. They're telling you what foods are. So when I listen to people, they go, well, I'm going to the store to buy some food. It's not food. And if you don't understand that, that's a problem. It's not food. Food comes from God's table. Mother Nature. These people think they're gods. And we have to understand that. And you have to understand, if you want to lose your weight, if you want to lose your weight, you want to separate yourselves from these people. Because eventually, they want to take control of your whole life. They want you thinking about their foods all the time. They are basically, this is an evil system that they have developed. Remember, these people, they put harmful chemicals in your foods. They're harmful. I was explaining to a lady today that high fructose corn syrup, you say high, you've seen that it's in all your sodas and just about everything. One of the reasons why they put that in your food is because it makes you not feel full. I don't know if that's great English, but it's called satiety, meaning you feel full. High fructose corn syrup blocks that, so you want to eat more. That's evil. Am I correct? They don't like us. They don't like you. They don't like us. They don't like your children. I keep pounding that in our heads. Remember, they do not work on the same values as we do. Valuing people and life. They don't value that. Now let's talk a little bit about God's foods. Food is how God communicates to the human body. That's how God communicates. The things that the human body needs. Food is like, it's a love note from God. This is how he communicates to a body. We've got spirit and we've got the human physical body. That's how food communicates to the physical body. Another thing, when you eat foods on God's table, it lights up invaders that come into our body. So invaders would be bacteria, fungus, molds, viruses, which the body makes, by the way. Those invaders, when you eat foods on God's table, the immune system can see them better. If you are eating foods from the food industry, it doesn't help your immune system fight against diseases, especially right now. Everybody's concerned about this so-called coronavirus. So I watch people in the stores, they're wearing a mask, but they have soda in their carts or junk food in their carts, which lowers the immune system. So that's what foods on God's table do. And as I told you before, if you get rid of these foods from the food industry, your weight's going to come right off. So as we did last time, let's look at some foods on God's table that are very fascinating. That the foods from the food industry, they don't have these qualities. They think they do. Let's look at the coconut. And the coconut has hairs on it. So let's read this. All of these fascinate me, but this one really fascinates me. A coconut is hard, just like a skull. It has hair, just like a head. It has 3 indentation holes, and looks just like a little face. Inside the coconut is a membrane, and today it's known that coconuts are one of the most beneficial foods for brain health and function. Coconut oil is imperative for those with diseases such as Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, Lou Gehrig's disease, multiple sclerosis, and diabetes. The food industry cannot do this, ladies and gentlemen. It is amazing, isn't it? And so what they do is they take the chemicals from this coconut and they take it out and they play around with it and they put it in our foods. And they label it, they label them natural flavors. So they're tampering with the foods from God's table. Let's take another one. Look at another one. We're going to look at some foods that kind of look like bones, right? Celery, bok choy. Bok choy you see a lot in Chinese food. And rhubarb. Rhubarb, it looks just like celery, but it's much more sour. And let's read this. Celery, bok choy, rhubarb, and more look just like bones. These foods specifically target bone strength. Bones are 23% sodium, and these foods are 23% sodium. If you do not have enough sodium in your diet, the body pulls it from the bones, making them weak. These foods replenish skeletal needs. Also, these foods have the same ratio of calcium and magnesium as our bodies. It is what it is. That's what's going on with these foods. The foods from the supermarkets don't do this, guys. They think their foods are just as good as these foods right here. Moving on, let's look at one more. Let's look at 3 other foods. Eggplant, avocado, pears. Let's read. Eggplant, avocados, pears target the health and function of the womb and cervix of the female. They look just like organs. Today's research shows that when a woman eats 1 avocado a week, it balances hormones, sheds unwanted birth weight, and prevents cervical cancers. And how profound is this? This is amazing. It takes exactly 9 months to grow an avocado from blossom to ripened fruit. There are over 14,000 phytolithic chemical constituents of nutrition in each of these foods. Modern science has only studied and named about 141 of them. This is amazing. I managed health food stores in my career. In a lot of female products, there are avocado oils in there. So that is a brief look at some of the foods on which how foods on God's tables work. Back to the food industry. Listen, everyone. These people are not your friends. They're not your friends. You've got to get angry. When you walk into these stores, you got to understand they want you hooked. And that's what they do. They think they're above God. I mean, they play mind games. They're mind games. You're actually picking up their foods in the store and putting it in your cart. But technically, these are actually emotionally abusive tactics. There are emotionally abusive tactics on how they deal with people. But you always have to understand, if you have a strong belief in a higher being, which most people do, you got to understand there's foods on God's table, and there's food from the food industry. The food from the food industry is going to cause you to be overweight, and then you have diabetes, cancer, heart disease, stroke, and then you've got foods on God's table. I just showed you what's going on. All right. Now, anyway, I want everybody to order the program. You got to get the weight off. Remember, this program is designed to help you build confidence in yourself. And right now, this is the best time to lose weight. Period. You're home. You can barely even go out to dinner. You can't go out, eat all this drama. This is the time to do it. A lady just left me a message the other day. Hey, I heard your videos, and called her up. She's on the program. Boom. So everybody order the program. That's all we got to talk about today. Next week, we're going to get into another topic. I have some other things I want to talk to everybody about. I'm going to start talking about foods you can use to lose weight, and got a lot of topics to talk about. Then I'm always in the stores doing undercover nutritionist. Always check that out. I'm always in the store with my video glasses on, trying to tell everybody what's going on into these stores so you can make wiser food choices. So that's all we have today. Enjoy your blessings. I'm out.